Join me as I embark on a daring 5 items exchange with Peggy from the Paper Bumblebee. But here's the exciting twist. Instead of our usual craft items, we decided to challenge ourselves by sending each other 5 non-craft items. The anticipation is building up, and I must admit I'm feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness as I prepare to open this mysterious package. Join me as I shake off the rust and dive into this captivating adventure. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. I have no idea what to expect. And just so that I don't forget in all the excitement, of course, you can find Peggy's video with what I sent her linked below this video. So be sure to check out what Peggy created with my items. Ooh, I already love that. How gorgeous. I love this. Peggy, this is amazing. I love the splash of red. That is absolutely beautiful. And it's a postcard with a note. Oh, candy packaging. Oh dear. So what do we have? Dear Barbara, thank you so much for doing a 5-item exchange with me. Exciting. Yes, indeed. I hope you enjoy the items I picked. Just have fun. The non-craft items are for sure things you can craft with. I don't know. There's a smiley face. Do we trust that? Thank you again for your birthday prezzies. Loved them. I included a design team project I made for you a while back. I hope you like it. Love, Peggy. P.S. The candy wrapper was sent by my daughter and you may add it to... I can't read that. to something. So I'm assuming this is like optional. So maybe I'll use it in this project. Maybe I'll use it somewhere else. Yeah, so Peggy is also a design team member for my digital items. Okay, what is what? I don't know. What do we open first? Let's open this because this is opened already. Oh, these must be the items. I adore this. This is going to go in my planner. Thank you so much, Peggy. Oh dear. Okay, we have this, which seems to be from some kind of a packaging. Okay, that's kind of a fun item. I like that. So that's number 1. Then we have this very neon pink plastic mesh. Okay, very interesting. Does this count? No, I don't think this counts. We have a silver coin, 1 rand. Where do you have rands? Okay, I will have to check where you have rands, or I'm sure someone is going to write it in the comments. What do we have? Pop of color. I guess this was on here. Oh my goodness, we have an old CD. Oh wow. Okay, very interesting. And this thing here, no idea what that is. Is that maybe for cleaning? There's definitely an elastic in here, and I don't know what this material is. It's quite bulky. Oh my goodness, what do we do with this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Thank you, Peggy. I have no idea what to do with this. Let's see what's in here. So this is a design team project that Peggy made. Oh, this is so exciting. Oh my goodness, it's a journal. Oh, when she used my Dragonflies Resurrected kit. Oh, how cute. Oh, I already know where this is gonna go. It's gonna go on my little journal shelf. Oh, 49. Oh. This is so cute. The tiniest tuck spots. Oh, wow. Oh, Peggy, I love it. Gold splatters. Oh, yeah. Such a tiny tag. This is adorable. Aww. An envelope. Oh, Peggy, I love it. Seriously. That is so sweet of you. See, I never use my own kits to make journals. I totally should. Oh, I love this tea bag as its own page. Oh my goodness, the tiny belly band. Oh my goodness, the tiniest coin envelope ever. Oh wow, I wonder at what percent Peggy printed these. It must be like, I don't know, maybe 25%. Could that be right? Oh, this is so adorable. Okay, this is really motivating me for this challenge, Peggy. Thank you so much. Look how grungy. Love it, love it, love it. Peggy, you're a sweetheart. Thank you so much. This will go on my little shelf for sure. So the only other materials we're allowed to use are things like stamps and stencils and die cuts and all these things, but no like extra materials. This is really, really challenging. I will definitely need to take some time to think about this. So I'll see you once I figured it out. Okay, I'm back and I have a pretty crazy idea. Let's try this. So since this is it's actually a DVD, not a CD, it's made out of 2 layers. And we are going to separate these 2 layers. So we're going to put this in a bowl and pour some really hot water over it. And I'm going to let this sit for approximately 5 minutes. Ooh, we can see the top layer coming off. That's actually really good. So it's been 5 minutes. So let's take the DVD out. Oh, I love that this is coming off. I did not expect this to come off so easily, so that's great. So now we have 2 shiny sides. And now I'm going to try to separate these 2 layers with a craft knife. Oh wow. Okay, now the silver layer is coming off as well. Was not expecting that. So now I have these 2 separate clear discs. This is really fun. I've never done this. And I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to trace around it on this pink mesh. And I'll cut out that circle. Does not have to be super exact. Next, I'm going to glue this in between these 2 layers, I think. This has got to be the weirdest craft challenge I've ever done. I'm putting PVA glue in here. I'll add some water. Then I'll add my glue to one of my CD halves and add the mesh to it. Then I'll add another layer of glue on the other half. This might ruin the whole thing, but I am so curious. I feel like a kid doing a science experiment. I'll add this on top. So it's about 5 minutes later. I think this has fused a little bit. And now I'm going to take my scissors, and this should be more easy to cut now since I had this in the boiling water. So I'm going to do my best to cut out some petal shapes, and I'm just thinking maybe I should draw them first. I have this acrylic marker here. I don't need them all to be the same. I'm not sure how many I need. I think that's plenty. So let's see if we can actually cut these out. Okay, this separated. Okay, that's not a huge problem. I'll put that back on. Okay, so that's one petal. So I'll cut out all the others as well. So I've cut them all out. The glue isn't really holding. These are all like separate layers, but that's okay. I hope my plan will still work. And then I just took the mesh off in between these and wiped off the glue. And now I'm going to just cut the single layers into, or you know what? Let's try something else. Let's see if we can punch through one of these single layers with a regular hole punch. No. Okay, let's see if the crocodile can do this. Oh, wow, easily. Okay, but it's also actually really curling it. What? Do you see that? Okay, so let's not do that. So back to my original idea, I'm just going to cut a few tiny squares. Yeah, this is fairly easy to cut now. So maybe I'll cut strips first. And then I'll cut off the end, and then I'll just cut like these tiny squares. They are flying all over the place. And I'll also do that with this purplish one, just because the color is different. So I've put my petal shapes on a baking tray, and I've cut out a few more of these. So we'll keep these on the side for now, and let's go to the kitchen. So I've preheated my oven to 200 degrees Celsius. I will put on the screen what that is in Fahrenheit. So let's put these in. Just want to make sure they're not touching. And my hope is that they will melt and fuse together because it's all plastic. Let's see. It's 4 minutes later. I've turned up the heat to 250 degrees Celsius, and I can see they're starting to melt. They're getting all glossy, and it looks like the edges are getting a little bit more rounded. Oh wow. This is so exciting. So it's been 5 minutes, and I think I'm going to take them out before they lose their shape completely. So they have definitely gotten smaller, and they've gotten this nice and round shape now. So I need to let this cool off. And while these cool off, I'm going to color this little coin with some nail polish. I have this very dark maroon color. I think that will go well with our pink color. While that coin dries, I'm going to take this, and this is what I want to use for the stem of the flower I'm going to make. I'm going to use the back side because the front here has a strange plastic coating, and I think the back is just regular cardstock. I thought about filing this away or putting gesso over it, but actually I think I'm going to leave it because it's nice to see that this came from repurposed packaging. So I'm going to spray this with Distress Oxide Forest Moss. Or actually first I'm going to add some water. Then I'll add my Forest Moss. Ooh, that looks funky. I will dry this without moving it because this looks so cool. So this is mostly dry now. I think it looks really, really cool. I don't know why it didn't spread more. So let's put this aside. And then we also have this thing here. I have no idea what this is, but let's try to take it apart. So I'll cut off the end here, which seems to be holding it together. Let's see if this now comes apart. Oh, wow. Oh, this is one. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. That's unexpected. Wow! This is fun. Okay, let's cut this end off too. Oh my goodness, look at this. It's a huge piece. So I'm going to cut off the elastic band. And you know what? I think this is what Peggy used in her collage. Let's compare this after I cut this off. It is so fun to work with materials that you usually wouldn't use for crafting. You really think about recycling things that you would otherwise throw away. Okay, so I have this now, and looking back at this, look, I think this is the same thing, don't you think? It feels like it. So Peggy, I'm guessing, colored it with something, maybe also a spray. What a cool idea, Peggy, I love it. But I'm not sure I want to use this piece. I'll also cut a piece from here. And I'm also going to spray both of these with the forest moss. I'm going to attempt to dry this, but I'm going to be very careful because I'm not sure if there's any plastic or synthetic materials in here that will melt if I add some heat. It's melting, so I cannot do that. So this will take a little longer to dry. So I put that on my windowsill where I have a bit of sun, so hopefully that won't take too long to dry. And in the meantime, I'm going to make a base. So I'm going to make a tag, and we are allowed to make a base because I need a substrate to put my elements on. So I'm taking this Sizzix tag die just because I'm lazy to cut it by hand. And I'm taking my trusty chocolate packaging. Always have these at home just because I need them for crafting, of course. So I'll take this to my die cut machine and cut this out. So we have this, which actually makes a really nice tag. So this is going to be our back side. And this is our front. And I'm going to try a paint resist technique on this. So first I'm going to add some stenciling. I'm going to use this one here, which is by Studio Light, and I will do my best to link this below for you. And I'll add some white acrylic paint. This is chalk paint. And I'm going to take a little makeup sponge. I have not in the past had the best results with makeup sponges because I have the feeling they don't soak up the paint enough and then it kind of goes under the stencil. But I will try it again because I know a lot of you love doing it like this. Maybe I just need less paint. That's probably the trick. So I really don't have a lot on here. The challenge is that I don't really see it because it's white on white. And you can't see it either, can you? It is getting a little bit of a color because, of course, I have some Distress Oxide on it. I don't really clean my stencils on purpose because I love the surprises you get. But, of course, if you have something specific in mind, then that's not a good idea. This might actually be working quite well with the sponge. Let's take it off. I can definitely see some of it. There's more on here than there is here. I hope I have enough here for my resist technique to work. So I dried this quickly and I want to use my peeled paint in the background here. And I'm just going to take an acrylic block. I'm going to smoosh this in here. I would use a spray, but I don't have this in spray form. So let's add some water. And now we could either, oh yeah, let's do that. Let's just dip this into the paint rather than trying to drip the paint on here. So I'll wet this and then I'm going to smoosh this into my paint. Okay, then I'm going to dry that. Okay, I want to add more paint. I don't want to waste this, so I'm going to just pick that up with some regular copy paper and I can always use that later. And since this looks quite yellow, I'm also going to add some bundled sage, which has a little bit more like bluish grayish tone. This time I'm not adding as much water, and I'm not adding any water here, hoping that we will see this color better. That looks cool. So I'm going to dry this again. So I'm loving this already, but now we want to see if the resist technique is going to work. So I'll take some of my cloth here, add some water, and rub here where I have my paint. And I'm hoping the oxide will come off where the paint is. So now I see my paint layer is not thick enough. I should have added more paint, but I was worried about it going underneath the stencil, and if I rub too much now, the cardstock is coming apart. So what I should have done is to add a coat of clear gesso maybe. But it's okay. I mean, I still like what I have here, even without the resist technique. Let's add a little bit more water down here and be very gentle with the rubbing so that I don't rub the cardboard off. I have a feeling that I rubbed a lot of the bundled sage off now, which is a shame. So I think I need to add some more of that on. I know I'm going back and forth, but it's very yellow, you know? In the meantime, I was checking on this tag as it was drying. I actually thought it was already dry, and then I saw it had some spots of the forest moss on it on both sides, and I tried cleaning it with this paper towel, and look how much came off, and I smeared the beautiful design now. Oh, that's such a bummer. I need this to be darker so that it stands out from this background. So I think I'm just going to spray some more of my forest moss here and just not have this cool design. But it must mean that there is another layer on here which is glossy, because otherwise this would have been dry because it was laying in the sun now for quite a while. So actually what I'm going to do, because I don't want this to rub off later obviously, I will first add some clear gesso to this. I'm using this blue one by Liquitex. I like this one because it has a very grainy surface. Yeah, this now of course smears the oxide. So this is dry now and it has a rough surface. And hopefully now the Distress Oxide will stay on there. And this time I'm just going to spray it because actually I want this as dark as possible. It's dry, but it looks like it's still coming off. Look at this. So I'm wondering if I should just add a coat of varnish on top. Could have just sanded it down to get rid of whatever coat was on there. Maybe I can just take it off like this. Then I don't have to use the varnish because the varnish has to dry again as well. Now it's getting too light. I'm going to try something else. So I will wipe. Oh my goodness, look, it completely wipes off. What? Even though it has the gesso underneath. Wow, this is unexpected. Okay, I think I'm going to have to sand this down because this is not working. So I have this sanding block from the hardware store. Let's do this. Okay, so I hope whatever coating was on there is now gone. And now, instead of the Forest Moss Distress Oxide, I'm going to try this ink, which is for calligraphy. And I'll just brush that on. Oh, that's a completely different green. Ooh, I'm not sure I like this. Let's add some water. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm happy with this green. Okay, it came off. Okay, going back to the forest moss then. It's dry. Let's see if it comes off. You see the edges here? This is where apparently I rubbed off the whole coat that it had. So this here is perfect. This here looks like it still has the coating on, so I don't know if it will come off now. Oh, it does. Bummer. Oh, wow. I need to rub it off more, I guess. Oh my goodness. Let's try this again with my sanding block. I'm not giving up. After continuing to sand it for a couple of minutes, I am coming to the realization it's not going to come off. I think I would maybe need a coarser sandpaper or something, but this is not happening. So instead, we're going to try some acrylic paint. This is called Olive Green. I hope this will stay on here. It's not giving a great coverage. Hopefully with a couple of layers, it will be better. Okay, we have some success finally. So this does not come off, and it has a really nice contrast to my background. And I want to use this to cut out a stem for my flower. Yes, I could draw this by hand, but I'm lazy. So I want to try a die cut. I have these flower die cuts. Oops. They are from Action from quite a long time ago, so they currently don't have them, at least not in Austria. And my hope is that this here would work for my flower, but just this part right here, because I don't have more space on this thing here. I think this would just about fit. Yeah. So let's see what this looks like. I know that die cut machines usually don't like plastic, so I wasn't sure how well this would cut. So I don't need the top of the flower, I can cut that off. What I wanted was the stem, and I'll cut this part off. We don't need a second stem. And this here. Okay, so we finally have a stem. So this will show up really nicely on this background. These have all cooled down and dried. So this is now my little coin. I think that looks really cool. And I love how these turned out. These are like little droplets almost. They are very cute and round. They have completely fused together, and we have this cool pink mesh in the middle. I am super happy with these. So this is going to be the center of my flower. And then these are, of course, the petals. I thought I had more than enough, but it turns out I could have used a few more for sure. They will have to do because I'm not making more. I feel like it needs more interest in the background. It's too plain. So let's move all of this again. And I want to add some embossed stamping using one of my favorite stamp collections of all time by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. This is the Faded Type CMS 397. I will link these for you below. I will take this one. I'll use my Distress Embossing Dabber. You can also use your stamp pad, of course. Alternatively, you could just stamp if you don't have embossing tools. So we'll put it once up here. Oh, that left quite a bit of color, and we'll add some more. And I'll add some here. And another bit here. And I'm going to try this Distress Embossing Glaze in Walnut Stain. I'm being very brave here because this is quite dark, but it's also very translucent. So hopefully this won't be too dark. Otherwise, I might just be ruining the whole thing now. I am totally not experienced working with these glazes. I've had very mixed results, but that's because I haven't really done a lot of research on how to use these best. Okay, this looks super dark. I'm hoping that once I heat this up, it will lighten up. So guess what? It didn't lighten up one bit. And we can hardly see our flower, and we can hardly see the stem that I've worked so hard on to get in such a dark color. And I also really don't like the yellow. This is a mess. Oh no. What am I going to do? Okay, this whole thing is just not working for me. I could use this as the back side of the tag because it is quite nice as a back side. So let's turn this around and let's add some white gesso to this side. I'll try it with my brayer. So I'll do several layers of this until it's white. This took about 6 coats now. It might have been easier with a brush, but I really like the texture that I have now. And I have these bubbles here because, of course, my heat gun was too close, but I love it. So I will not use the peeled paint because that just has too much yellow in it. I'm going to use my bundled sage. Let's smoosh it again. Add some water. And put our tag into it. I'll add some more water. Then I will dry it. And then I will repeat the process. I will dry it again. I'll add more water. And repeat the process. Once this has dried again, I want to see if I can get a nice oxide effect by adding some more splatters, by only pressing this very gently so that I get bigger drops. We'll wait for just a little bit and then hopefully we can lift them off with a paper towel. I think it did work. I think this is some water here and these spots here are definitely from the water. Oh, and here as well. Okay, so that's cool. That looks like a pretty funky background. I still want this in the background, so I'm going to try this again and I'm not going to use the walnut stain. Adding white embossing powder this time. Oh, what happened here? Why? So apparently this was not dry. Well, that could still look pretty cool actually. I'm just going to emboss this. I always clean my stamps after using the embossing ink. They get quite sticky. I could have never gotten this if I would have planned it. It's quite interesting. But now I'm thinking I want a little more color. And I'm going to add some Kitsch Flamingo. I'll add some water. So after drying this, I should be able to rub away the oxide from the embossed parts because obviously they form a resist, and hopefully I'm not going to rub it off from the gesso. I'm going to try it with a dry cloth first. Oh, that's making the embossing powder pink now. I don't want that, so I guess I will add some water. Okay, it's turning white again, that's good. It's also kind of rubbing away the pink from underneath, so I'll be very careful. I think dabbing is the better option, yes, definitely. I mean, it's still taking away some of it, but some of it will be visible in the end. because I do want my white to be white and not pink. And by the way, a huge shout out to my dear friend Louise Heinzel and Marlies from Marley Designs, who have put out a whole series on paint resist techniques. I will link both of those playlists for you below to check out, because they're experimenting together and they're getting some really cool effects. Now I am very happy with this background. I just want a little more here actually. Should I? Yes, I should. Okay, it's dry and I'll go over it. Whoops! Oh, of course. Oh my goodness, I need to wait till it cools down because of course the embossing powder melted as well. Oh, Barbara. Patience, patience. So what do we think? I think this is so much better. I really think it was worth redoing that background. And then of course we still have this mess here. So this has been in the sun for about an hour. Let me test if the oxide will come off or not. Oh, it totally will. No. Peggy, what did you color yours with? I would really love to know what you used. I don't think I can use this and I don't think I can wait any longer. I think I've been filming for over 3 hours. So I think I need to use the original material as it is. So I'll cut some for the bottom here to make some sort of a ground for our little flower to stand on. Let's try thinner strips. I really wish I could paint this. How else could I paint it? With acrylic paint maybe? But it's going to take forever to dry again because I cannot use my heat gun. Let's just try a few layers here. Peggy, please leave a comment below and let us know how you colored yours, because I'm assuming you used the same material for your beautiful collage. Yeah, I have this now. So that would be an option. I could also use some of it as a tag topper. Maybe even this part here with the elastic band. Yep, that would definitely work. So I glue everything down. You don't need to watch me do that. That's gonna take a while. Okay, everything is glued down. The glue has not dried yet, but at least things are holding in place, including this fun thing here. And I'm going to ink around the edges with Seedless Preserves. I think that's the color that best matches this tag. So I'll use my little finger dauber for that. Of course, where we have the embossing powder on the edge, it's not going to hold. But maybe it's nice like this to have a very irregular frame. So I'll wipe around the edges to take it off from the embossing powder so it doesn't come off later on my fingers. Wow, look, there's a lot coming off. And what I almost completely forgot are these. Oh my goodness, we need some of those. How about we add those to the ground here? I'll use my art glitter glue because it has the fine tip. And we'll just put them on top for some extra sparkle. Then I'm also going to add a slit here on the top with my ID tag punch. You can find these on Amazon by searching for ID tag punch. Let's put this elastic thing through. And I will staple these together. And lastly, we do need a bit more contrast, so we need some splatters. I have some purple here. This is a mixture that I used for my bubble technique. So it has dishwashing liquid in it, which totally doesn't matter. I've had this for almost a year, I think. Nothing is happening to it. It's not getting moldy. So let's try that. Of course, it's not going to stay on the embossing powder. So I'll add some more up here where I don't have embossing powder. This is not really doing what I wanted it to do. I also have this mixture, which is black. I think it's black acrylic paint. And it also has the dishwashing liquid in it because I used it for the bubble technique as well. Actually, I'm not liking this because the splatters aren't splatters. They spread out in a really weird way. I don't like it. So I'll add some water and then try to dab that. Yes, okay, it's coming off. Good, good, good. Phew. It's all coming off. Okay. Never mind any of that. I have the feeling a lot of the pink has now disappeared, so I want to add some of that back in. Okay, that looks a lot better. And I also still have a lot of this left, so I am contemplating just adding a strip of this to the top. I think that's a definite yes. So I'll just staple that on top of the other one. I would love it to have more of a border because this has no border. I don't like that. The back with the pink is also really weird. Of course, I got some gesso on the edges here. That's kind of a mess. So I have a solution for another border. I have recently been gifted this cardstock. And look what happens if we add a border of this. I think that just brings out the tag a lot better. So I'm just going to glue the whole tag on it as it is. I guess I have to cut this by hand because I can't put it in my paper trimmer. That changed the whole tag, didn't it? Oh, it really, really needed that. Now I'm happy with it. As you've witnessed, this 5 items challenge has pushed me way outside my comfort zone. And I had a blast experimenting with new materials. But the adventure doesn't end here. I encourage each and every one of you to take part in this thrilling exchange. Reach out to a friend or family member, challenge them to pick 5 non-craft items, and embark on your own unique adventure. It's a fantastic opportunity to bond, explore new horizons, and discover the unexpected. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.